Hi, everyone. Sorry to interrupt all these delicious, happy conversations when we see each other and reunite, but that was our prelude music by Lily that was recorded at another service and replayed for us today. So now I want to introduce our board member, Lynn Maria Smith.
Good morning. My name is Lynn Maria Smith, and I'm the Vice President of the Board of Trustees of the Monte Vista Unitarian Universalist Congregation. Welcome! We have a very busy day today. Immediately following the service, we have an important congregational meeting that we hope you will all stick around to attend. It's not going to be very long, but it's very important. And then immediately following that, we have our back to school luncheon today. And we have lots of nice sandwiches ready for you. Some you'll put together yourself, some are already done. We have PBJs, we have grilled cheese sandwiches made by my son, who's a grill master at of the grilled cheese sandwiches. We have root beer floats, orange floats, Rice Krispie treats. The cost of the luncheon is $15. Kids under 12 are free, and guests are our guests. So if you haven't paid yet for the luncheon and you're not under 12 and you're not a guest, please see Betsy, and she will be happy to. Murray's not here today. He's under the weather. So yeah. And we are going to have bingo too. $5 will buy you 5 games of bingo, $1 a game. We have some fun prizes for that. And so I hope you can join us for that. It's going to be fun. Different patterns every game. And we also have a picture game. And at the back by the fireplace is a poster of some of our congregants who have brought in their baby and childhood pictures. And we have a little answer sheet. Put your name on it, take your guesses, put it in the box that's on the back table. And guess what? That doesn't cost you anything. You have something free today. There's a prize for that. And Mark Moninger now has an announcement about upcoming fundraising event. Mark?
No, my name is Coach Moving.
Oh.
Coach Moving, welcome back to school, kids. Coach Moving is here, otherwise known as Coach MBUC. I just want to go over a few things now that you're back to school. I want to make sure we get these announcements done, and then you show up to these events, you're going to have to drop and give me 10 if you don't show up. So, October 5th, we got a fundraising event. It's got a big recital with our player Lily and Maggie and April. They'll be singing and playing music. So y'all put that on your schedule, October 5th. And make sure you come out for that, enjoy some good music. We'll have wine and drinks and maybe little appetizers and stuff like that, okay? So, y'all remember we've been talking to you about the fundraising called the Fall Fundraiser, UU Fundraiser. Well, we're going to have to change the date, y'all, because there's going to be a big rally going on called No Kings, right? So we don't want no Kings anymore. So there's a lot of people going to that rally, yeah? So anyway, we're going to move our date to a later time, so keep your eye out on your computer, your phone, your laptop, or whatever you get your information. And we'll be having that fundraiser later in this fall, okay? So any questions? All right? Y'all looking good? Get in shape? Ready for the new school year? All right. Well, Coach Maverick says make sure you come out to some of our events here the next couple months and go MVUC. Right.
Thank you, Coach. And now I'd like to welcome and introduce our minister, Reverend Maggie Yenoki.
Yay! Who said that? We're so cute. Yay! Hi, everybody. It is great to be here with all of you. And this morning we meet underneath a very special astronomical event. We are in the waxing stage of the lunar eclipse that's already happening. And it'll last for about 80 minutes. It's the full blood moon eclipse, and it's going to peak at 11:08, so it's on its way toward its peak. And as the earth blocks the sun, the red and orange wavelengths bend through the atmosphere and they paint the moon blood red. But we won't be able to see it here. Those who are in Asia, Africa, and Australia, and I don't know, maybe New Zealand. Phoebe? No, you don't know? We're very happy to have Phoebe here with us today. Yay! There's a yay. Yeah. Also, what we normally do on the first Sunday of every month is sing happy birthday to those who have birthdays in September. So who's a September baby here? George, Debbie. George and Debbie are bookends. That's great. So we're going to do it a cappella. So anybody in the choir who's out in the congregation today, please sing extra loud and cover us, because happy birthday could sometimes be not on key, and I'm not pitch perfect.
Isn't it supposed to sound bad?
It is. I think so. Thank you.
If it sounds pretty, it's just weird.
It is. You're right.
Marilyn Monroe-ing me right
So thank you. Thank you, Laura. So when we get to the person's name, let's just say September babies really quick, okay? So let's sing. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, September babies. Happy birthday to you. Oh, that sounded great. Yay.
Not too perfect.
Yeah, right. Just the right amount of unperfectness. Yeah. Well, as we uncork our service this morning, we dedicate our first words to acknowledge and honor the Tongva and other native peoples on whose ancestral lands we gather this morning. We offer our healing energies of recognition, reciprocity, and respect. And we direct our aspiration and our hope toward a mending of harm caused by colonization. For yesterday, we called to the ancestors, those of this faith, of this congregation, and of each of our hearts. And at this present day, we extend a safe, warm welcome to those of us gathered here and those who wish they could join us, in person, online, and via the recording. And for tomorrow, we are holding our faith dear, learning, growing, serving, as we prepare a place for those who will come and as we await their arrival. And all of our people said together 3 times, thank you, thank you, thank you. Our welcoming song this morning is Gathered Here, and because we are using MP3 recordings that were snagged out of former services by George, who's quite an expert. He saved us with this. We're going to have a clip from an old service playing through the speakers, and also the lyrics will be on the screen. And we'll sing Gathered Here 3 times, if you would please stand. Let's sing out. Cover up the recording part with your beautiful voices. As a symbol of our faith, we light a chalice at each of our gatherings It represents the spirit, the values, and the rich history of Unitarian Universalism. Its flame offers us belonging, and it holds us in community as it invites us to center our lives in justice, love, and service. As our beloved Phoebe Mason comes forward to light our chalice, let's hear these words from a reading titled, Who We Are Called to Be by Pat Uribe Lichty. Our chalice is a reminder that in hard times, our ancestors in faith acted with courage to bring hope and safety, to bring life itself to threatened people. We light it today as a reminder of who we are called to be in a world still dangerous and despairing. But with courage and faith, we bring ourselves to the work before us. I invite you to stand as we sing our anthem, our invocation, Spirit of Life. We'll sing 2 times, once in English, then in Spanish, and then we'll recite our covenant together. Just let me say quickly, because we do have a few guests with us today, that our faith, Unitarian Universalism, is not a creedal faith. In other words, we don't have a creed that we recite together, and we don't limit our beliefs to any spoken statement. However, we do have a covenant that we read, and it changes from time to time, but this is one that we are feeling is just good and true for us right now. And it talks about how we are in relationship with one another. So please read along with us as you're comfortable. We invite you. And we affirm that love is the greatest purpose of this congregation. The search for truth is our constant star, and service is our prayer. We pledge our hearts, minds, and hands to challenge injustice with courage, to make choices for a healthier planet, and to live out our Unitarian Universalist values every day as beloved community. Thus do we covenant with each other and with all that is sacred in life. Please be seated. I invite you to our time of the wisdom tale brought to us by Robert Tidwell.
Good morning, everybody. Today's story is called The Umbrella Story. It's by Tim Atkins. And this story was written in a way that asks a little bit of work from you guys. So when I say the word boom, I want you to repeat it and go boom really loud. And when I say the word sanctuary, I want you to whisper the word sanctuary really quiet, okay? So once upon a time, a long time ago, so long ago, okay, it was Thursday, in a far away place known as North Carolina, I was caught outside in a sudden rainstorm. I was silly and didn't look at the weather before I left, and I was walking around outside when it started to pour. I got so wet it took hours to dry off, and I didn't have my trusty umbrella with me. I have the story for you today, but there's two important parts of the story, as I just explained. When I say boom, I want to hear you say boom. So let's practice real quick. Boom. Boom. Good job. And then when I say sanctuary, I want you to whisper. Perfect. So once upon a time, there was a little girl just like you who was caught outside in a sudden rainstorm. She ran inside to the nearest store. I wish I had thought of that. To wait out the rainstorm. As soon as she closed the door, a bright flash and a loud boom of thunder followed. The little girl knew that she would be stuck in that store for quite a while. She started to look around at some of the different items in the store, and the shopkeeper appeared. The shopkeeper was the oldest woman the little girl had ever seen. Her hair was white as snow, and her face was all wrinkly. The little girl was brave enough to admit that she was a little scared. "Young woman," said the old shopkeep, "can I help you with something?" The little girl pointed outside, too afraid to talk. "Ah," said the old shopkeep, "did you run in here to escape the rain?" The little girl nodded slowly, and another loud boom of thunder shook the store. "Well, you can wait in here if you'd like in my little sanctuary. We've got a nice, sturdy roof over our heads, and it will keep you safe and dry." The little girl appreciated the offer, but she really needed to get back outside and continue on her way. The old shopkeep could tell the little girl was hesitating. "Or," continued the shopkeep, "you could head back outside with this." The old shopkeep went behind the counter, and what do you think she pulled out? That's right, an umbrella. "Take this umbrella," said the old shopkeep. "I don't know why it's raining, but I do know that you can keep dry under this portable sanctuary." The little girl beamed and then stopped in her tracks. "But I don't have any money," said the little girl. The old shopkeep waved her off. "No worries, little girl. Just be sure to offer the umbrella to someone else when they need it." The little girl accepted the umbrella, headed back outside, opened up her umbrella, and went on her way. The little girl was happy and dry. She started skipping down the street and was perfectly happy when she saw a man wearing a suit, trying to keep dry with a newspaper over his head. Just then, she heard another loud boom, and the newspaper began to fall apart under the heavy rain. She skipped over to the man in the suit and held the umbrella up as high as she could. "Thank you," said the man. Remembering the words of the old shopkeep, the little girl told the man, "I don't know why it's raining, but I do know that you can keep dry with me under this portable sanctuary." The man smiled in relief. He had been having a really bad day. See, he was wearing a suit because he was on his way to a job interview. He had been without work for a long, long time and was kind of desperate. He had to walk to the interview because he couldn't afford a car. When it started to rain, he cursed his luck. He would show up to his really important job interview soaked, and he knew it would make a really bad first impression. The little girl spotted her family in the store across the street. "Here," said the little girl, "take this umbrella with you. I see my family right over there across the street." "Oh, I couldn't take your umbrella," said the man, feeling guilty. "No, take it. Just be sure to offer the umbrella to someone else when they need it." The little girl put the umbrella into his hands and then ran off to meet her family. The man couldn't believe how nice the little girl was. He knew he had to hurry, though, because it was almost time for his very important interview. Another boom of thunder caused him to start running. Well, I can tell you that man got that job he was interviewing for, and soon enough he was able to afford to buy a few umbrellas of his own. And whenever it would rain, he would bring not only his umbrella that the little girl had given him, he would also bring 2 more small umbrellas to give away to people who were stuck outside in the rain. And every time he gave away an umbrella, he would say, "I don't know why it's raining, but I do know that you can keep dry under this portable sanctuary." And soon everyone in their town had an umbrella that they would take with them. And if the townspeople passed by someone without an umbrella, they would give up their own and pass on the words, now known by the entire town. "I don't know why it's raining, but I do know that you can keep dry under the sanctuary." Thank you. And now the kids that are here can come up and get our cellos. You guys can sing us to our classes.
And I think we have a recording of this song, Jaryus. Yeah, we do. Cool.
Thank you.
Would the person, we have someone who's filling in for Laura on Justice Team. Maribel, good, thank you. Our congregation has voted and chosen to share 50% of the offerings we gather that are not marked as pledges with an organization that aligns with our values and that our people are active in and supporting. So for the month of September, we will be sharing and maybe October as well. I think we're doing 2 months at a time now. We'll be sharing our offering plate with Housing Claremont and the Inland Valley Abundant Housing, both organizations very near and dear to me. So, and we have Maribel to tell us a bit about them before the offering.
Thank you, guys, and it's good to be here this morning. Always. So the the Justice Team is the one that begins the name search for different organizations in the community that they believe we would like to support. And then the board approves it. So this is the most recent approval for the months of September and October. And we call this our Share the Plate recipient. It's been going on as long as I have been here, which was 1997, I think, when I came. So the recipient will be Housing Claremont, a regional chapter of Abundant Housing, Los Angeles. Housing Claremont is a volunteer nonprofit organization whose mission is building the movement for housing for all. Housing Claremont has recently become a chapter of Abundant Housing, Los Angeles, and is also known as Inland Abundant Housing. The group serves our region by advocating for solutions to our need for more housing, homeless services, and tenant protection. They collaborate with other groups to support high-quality, well-planned housing development and redevelopment for all income levels, prioritizing the critical needs of low and very low income individuals. They monitor the implementation of the city's general plan housing elements and compliance with state laws and mandates. And there have been state laws passed recently about housing to provide more of it. Housing Claremont also shares research and experience about best options for expanding housing and reducing homelessness. Their past president, the Reverend Jean Boutillier, spoke to our congregation about the possibility of building affordable housing on our land. Reverend Maggie Yenoki was a member of their board, and after she stepped down, Ann Taves and Laura Mulroy were elected to share her former position. It took 2 people to fill her spot. During the 2 months that we will be supporting Housing Claremont, Inland Abundant Housing, we will learn more about their ongoing efforts to provide housing for all. Thank you for supporting their mission.
Thank you, my fellow grandma. But it is with deep gratitude for the many generous gifts of our community that we invite you to bring forward your offerings and your donations for the Foothill Family Shelter that we gather in the wagon here next to the altar. As we listen to a recorded version of Lily Popova's Soaring for our offertory. Lily's upstate. That's a New York term, sorry, folks, but upstate is what we say. Lily is up north at a wedding today. I said, oh. I said, do you have a role in the wedding? Are you the bride? And she said, no. She says, no. So she and Gareth, they went as guests to a wedding today. So we wish them well and hope they have a great time. Our joys and sorrows, shine and shadow, the things in our lives that bump us and lift us, are the things we like to share with each other. And we have a segment of our worship each week where we share the ones that come written to me or ones that have been spoken to me, and they ask me to mention it. I have a few here. One Laura just ran and handed me, Laura Jowie. She says, I'm grateful for friends who took me to a Quakes game. I'm like, Quaker. Sorry, her S looks like an R. Can you imagine if Quakers played? That would be so great, if there were Quakers that played the Quakes. I'm just saying. Waiting for, yeah. So let me start over. I'm grateful for friends who took me to a Quakes game and made a necklace I have on. Friends, how I treasure them. Oh, for her birthday. When's your birthday? Oh, happy birthday. Well, I'm going to see that later. That's great. And this one is from Jill Rigel. Jill, raise your hand. There she is. She says she has a great joy. Her dear friend Linda thanks us for our prayers. She's completely recovered from her brain infection, and she's back to herself. Wow. Good job. This is a 3-in-1. I was a little anxious this morning as the messages kept coming in. First, there was an email from Laura Mulroy saying that her father, Joe, is back in the emergency room. But we learned since that it's for a special treatment that they can do for him there, and then he should be able to go back to Woods after a short time. The other message came from Jeannie Coates, because I was all ready to pick her up and bring her today, but she's just not feeling good. And she doesn't really have a diagnosis. She can't really point to what she thinks it is, even. But she's just suffering a little bit with pain. She's joining us online. She's in our Zoom sanctuary. And then the third one is Murray Smith, who's really sick. He started getting sick, you said Friday night? Lynn Maria, yeah. So that's one we won't share many details. We just know Murray is not feeling well, and he would appreciate all of our prayers and good energy going his way. So we hold all of those and all of the joys and the concerns that remain unspoken.
There's another one.
Ellen and Letha. I'm not sure which one this is from. Who has Aaron as a son? It must be Ellen, because I think Letha's boys have J names, right? This one, it doesn't matter. It's a concern. It says, my elder son Aaron is helping the Ministry of Magic train in Dragons in Romania. Ooh. He's a civilian contractor doing satellite stuff for the military. Wow. That's really cool. We want pictures. That's really great. So I invite you now to join me in a time of prayer. You can shift in your seat a little bit, and let's put our feet flat on the floor and let our arms rest in our laps. Let's do a little exhale, the stuff we don't need. Breathe in a little of that nice, soft, quiet sanctuary. It's nice. I'll have have a little quiet time, and then I'll read a prayer for you. This prayer is called The Calm by Yuli K. I just thought you should know that I love how you're weathering your own storm and still know how to be the calm in someone else's. It takes enormous grace to be that person, especially in these tender times when you could easily and justifiably choose to turn inward and focus only on your own hurt. The light you carry does not go unnoticed. Thank you for shining when shining isn't easy, and for praying when praying sounds more like groaning. May our groans be heard and be of healing service. May our shining be seen and light the way to a resolve that we can't yet see ourselves. May our love, the core of our being, take root and thrive and bring unity in our world so that each unique strand of life force energy can be seen and heard and held and healed. Oh, may it be so, and soon. Let's remain seated as we sing along with the recording of song number 95, There's More Love Somewhere.
I'm reading to you Shelter of the Soul by Kathleen at catmcintyre.com. Okay. Many of us are in need of shelter. Shelter from the brambles of the mind or wounds of the past stored within our bodies. We often reach outside ourselves to find shelter or comfort, but these attempts can fall short. John O'Donohue speaks of a type of shelter beyond structure, a shelter we always have that sweetly tends to us, the shelter of our soul. Expanding this concept with the wisdom of Meister Eckhart, O'Donohue invites us to experience our body within our soul. Imagine your body surrounded by the wisdom and light of your soul, offering protection and comfort through any inner or outer storm. If you look at an icon of any saint or of Jesus or a prayer candle with Bob Dylan, you will see a glow around them. This light has been described in many ways, but through this lens, this beautiful glow is the light of their soul, minding and tending to their body, mind, emotions, and purpose. I find great comfort that no matter what is happening or where we are being tended to and sheltered by our soul's wisdom and limitlessness. Taking the abstract and making it applicable is something I love to do. So lately, I have invited childlike curiosity, inner stillness, imagination, and my body's felt awareness to experience being sheltered within my soul. Feeling and seeing with my mind's eye my soul's light surrounding me, and allowing this to land like a warm hug, radiating inward, knowing where to go and what parts of me need tending to. This is such a sweet practice. I've done this as I've drifted off to sleep, in moments of frustration, and when I'm outside. My experience is amplified when I'm outdoors. It's as if I'm experiencing the state in which trees, plants, and animals always reside, and they are helping me get back into rhythm. Perhaps John O'Donohue and Meister Eckhart were reminding us of our most natural state and how to navigate this complex world. May each of you find shelter within your soul.
Now is the time we would normally have Lily do one of her special music pieces, but we chose one off of her CD. It's called Reminiscence. Please enjoy. very fortunate that Lily allows us to use her recorded music in our service without her. It's kind of her. Catholic priest and cultural historian and eco-geologian, self-named, Thomas Berry, coined the term incendence to describe the impulse to climb into the heart of the world rather than to rise above it. Unlike the transcendence that is core to the teaching of our ancestors, Ralph Waldo Emerson, Henry David Thoreau, Margaret Fuller, and Theodore Parker, all of whom are known to the world as deeply revered transcendentalists, our call in these times is not to rise above the hardships that we witness, or to separate ourselves from any of the suffering that we are witnessing, but instead to climb deeper into it and to embrace the experiences that come so often of late, to dig into the circumstances of those we serve and to seek that interdependence that we share at our core, to journey alongside one another, offering compassion and care as we go, becoming closer with all who are suffering and seeking shelter in these times that we might never have imagined would come. And yet here we are. But rather than holding ourselves above the rising waters or having an expectation of a certain rescue, we now look to connection over supremacy. And we hold tight to the love at our center, the love that can be found at all of our centers. I believe that we find that centering love more easily these days as we open our medicine bags and search with curiosity over certainty and with the lens of the shared values that our faith holds dear. You can look for the image on the back of your order of service. Of course, I have mine folded inside out. Our JET pig. We haven't used that acronym for a while, but JET pig stands for justice, equity, transformation, pluralism, interdependence, and generosity. And I believe we're better able to find new ways of living out our Unitarian Universalist identity with the knowing that this faith, our faith, is where our shelter is. That's where the rescue goes out from. That's where the life vests are kept. That's where we find what we need to hang on and to find our path. And our faith is tenderly leading us there. Our faith is our shelter. And I believe that we're finding that love that we rarely spoke about, yet maybe claimed was secretly true, is so much more essential to who we are now than we have ever been able to imagine. And I believe that the timing of Unitarian Universalism's deeper embrace of a centering love as our identity is divinely timed. Because when we look out and we dare to witness how much the world needs to be loved, we can say we have something for them. We have that love for them. Ukraine, Gaza, Haiti, Nicaragua, Burkina Faso, and now our own city of Chicago in the crosshairs. Yeah, shh. Are we able to see how important a role love takes in these situations? Are we supporting our UUA's vision that centering love is core to our thriving as a faith tradition? Are we curious at all about how we can find shelter in a love-centered faith? Or are we staunch in our certainty that there must be another way, a better way? Are we ridiculing love? Are we angered and opposed to centering our faith on love? Are we getting tired of my love-centered sermons? 17th century German philosopher Albert Schopenhauer taught that all truth passes through 3 stages. First, it's ridiculed, then it's violently opposed, and then finally, it's accepted as self-evident. And I think we've lived out all of those stages with gusto. Several times through, over the last 5 years that you and I have been together, but especially in regard to the changes to Article 2 in the UUA bylaws. But it's time for the 3rd stage, to see the self-evidence and find relief in surrender. And watch what can fill that space where certainty and insistence once held the gate closed. We let love be our faith and our shelter and our voice. It is time to let love be who we are, and to choose love as the language of faith that we speak. We must give love a voice. Author and psychotherapist Matt Licata tells us that the soul speaks in symptoms. The soul speaks in symptoms when it can't find words. We have the symptoms: restlessness, heartache, fatigue, anxiety. So let your soul find its words. Let your soul find its identity. Let that soul that Debbie talked about find its voice. And let love lead the way. We do well to stay in right relationship with our soul and to live that relationship out under the shelter of our UU faith. So don't let love continue to be unlived in your soul. Because when the unlived life is not expressed, it doesn't go away. It doesn't vanish. It lingers in the body and mind, and it calls to us as a symptom. What if we read those symptoms as a message from soul rather than something that needs to be treated or overcome? What if we knew them as the soul speaking its own language? What if that speaking is the oversoul, the highest that dwells within us, asking us to listen differently with the ears of our heart? Thank you, St. Benedict. Asking us to hear it and others with patience and tenderness, and asking us to feel its longing to return home, home to the love that we are here to bring. In Ralph Waldo Emerson's own words, we find when it breaks through our intelligence, it's genius. When it breaks through our will, it's virtue. But when it flows through our affection, it's love. May it also be our shelter, our faith, and our center. Amen, and blessed be. Let's sing our sending song. It's another recording from another service, so you will hear my voice. I told George we need another recording of this one. There's a little bit of talking in there, but just sing out over it. Please stand and we'll sing. Lift every voice and sing.
It's going to be on the...
Yeah. You can stand with the choir. Every voice and sing. There they are. Rejoice in we'll say our unison benediction as we bless each other. Let us recite that together. Baby, you want to come up and extinguish the chalice, please? As we extinguish our chalice flame, we each take its light with us. We promise to reflect it as we go into the week ahead. May our lives be gentle, and may we be held close by the love at our center and our hope to gather again soon. We don't have a postlude today because we've got so much going on. We've got a congregational meeting coming up in just a few minutes. So as we say, blessed be for our worship, I invite you to take a short bio break and come back as soon as you can, and we'll get this meeting opened up. And thank you.